Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about Blade & Soul Complete, or mainly the Frontier server. So there's been a lot of discussion about this. Koreans are very angry about it on the forums. But basically, the TLDR is NCSoft messed up again. So this time it's in the Korean side. Usually the people who get cucked the most are the players in the NA and EU server with NC West. However, this time was a much bigger deal, because they've upset the Eastern players, especially the Korean players, and the Korean player base is a lot bigger than the Western player base. So this is a much bigger deal to NCSoft. So you can see over here that I did use Google Translate. This was all in Korean, but basically they're saying that they're going to be delaying the update. The main reason we know that it's being delayed and they're breaking their promise of it will be released in December 2019 is because the latest update is over here at December 27th. December 27th was the last patch that Blade & Soul in Korea was going to get before the end of 2019. And in this patch, nothing really happened. It was simply just a regular server maintenance check. It was only 2 hours. There was no patch, no nothing. So basically, once this happened and the servers went live, everyone logged on and realized that there was no Frontier server or no other server to choose, no Unreal Engine 4, and the forums just went ballistic. So if you want to go check out the forums for yourself, you can go to the community tab over here and then check the freedom tab right here, and you can read all the stuff if you want in with Google Translate. But it's not very nice. Like, you think that we're bad in the Western community, but the Koreans are far more brutal with their insults. So if you do plan to read it, you know, just be mentally prepared. On top of that, there is other news as well. They've also posted another thing over here saying that after January 14, 2020, Blade & Soul will stop support for Windows 7. So if you are using Windows 7 while playing Blade & Soul, keep in mind that in the near future, that Blade & Soul will stop supporting that operating system. So I highly recommend people to just upgrade to Windows 10 if they're not using Windows 10 already, so that the game is more optimized for that operating system. And so that's something that you guys want to keep note of. But back to Blade & Soul Complete. So when is the Frontier server coming? They didn't state anything. And it's kind of like tradition now. And it's kind of to be expected that NCSoft kind of does this, you know. We meme it a lot on the Reddit, and and a lot of people just kind of just lost hope in this company, because whenever they publish something saying like, oh, this new thing's coming out, you know, chances are pretty high that they don't actually deliver on the date that they promised, or they don't actually deliver whatever they promised. So yeah, nothing new there. And because the Frontier server has been delayed, not coming out in December 2019, everything in the timeline has obviously been shifted backwards a little bit. There is a little bit of good news here, or at least interesting news, I suppose, and that is that the Force Master 3rd spec is projected to come out in February. So hopefully we get to see the Force Master 3rd spec in February, so we can see what exactly is the yin and yang spec. So that would be interesting to look at. But other than that, in the Korean side of things, there isn't anything new, anything interesting. It is extremely disappointing that we're not able to see the Unreal Engine 4. Like, I know a lot of us, myself included, was waiting for this patch to kick in so that we can actually see Korean players stream it, so that, you know, we'll see how the performance is, how the graphics is, and stuff like that. I didn't have very high expectations, but at least I wanted to see something, you know, just a little bit more refined, slightly better frame rates, slightly more stable frame rates. That's really all I was expecting. However, just having this thrown on top of the community like that is really discouraging. The worst part, of course, was it was thrown on top of the Korean community, which is known to be quite toxic, especially when it comes to punctuality. And usually NCSoft is quite careful with their home market in Korea, because Korea is quite an important market for them. Of course, China is still the biggest market. There is some good news on China's part. However, that will be left for a future video. But yeah, let me know in the comment section, why do you think this was delayed? Do you think it was a development issue? Like the developer simply didn't have enough time and they're still trying to work out a lot of issues, it wasn't ready, like the product? Or do you think it was management trying to push out this and promising the community stuff that wasn't ready too early? Or is it all just a scam and all a scheme just to get people excited about Blade and Soul and then like a bait and switch? Like, what do you guys think? Why was the Frontier server delayed? Do you think they'll ever release the Unreal Engine 4 update? And if you do think they will release it, when do you think they will come out? Do you think it'll be like in January or even February for the Koreans? Like, we don't need to talk about the West. We're not getting it till late 2020 for sure now, since this is getting delayed, unless the Chinese servers test it really efficiently, which again, I do have some hopes for it, because the Chinese servers do have the people, we have the manpower to test everything, and they also have the development team, and the publisher is also pretty on top of things most of the time, mainly because they try really hard to make sure that the whales are happy, because the whales in China spend a lot of money and it is a very, very big source of income. So it's in Tencent's and NCSoft's best interest to keep the whales happy, to keep performance good, so that the whales can keep playing. But again, that is for another video. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Hopefully you found it interesting. If you did, I would appreciate a subscribe. Or if you want to go that extra mile, please consider becoming a member. Speaking about members, I'd like to thank all my members over here. Ta-da! And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
What can I say except you're welcome? For the heals, the boosts, the rest.